Whew, they don't know. They don't know what we did to get here.
Man,
They
it's
don't
been
know.
some technical difficulties today.
They don't know.
No idea.
They have no idea. They don't want us. They don't want us to be great. Who used to say that all the time? They don't want us to be great.
All I know is that we had to climb mountaintops,
Baby.
and I don't know how to climb a mountain.
Baby. All right, let's get into it. Thank you so much for watching and listening to today's episode of We Have Notes with
Tee and Tel.
Tee Tel. Hey friend, hey, long time no see.
It's been a minute. We really need to. Our lives are very busy. That's number one. Like, we have very busy lives. So what I wish for us is for some of this to like slow down a little bit so we can catch up. But we got here. That's what's important. We're here.
We're here. It's a good type of busy. It's a good busy.
Yeah. I'm grateful, but okay.
Yeah, it's all great things happening, but they are all happening all at once. Y'all know how to go.
All at once, yeah.
All at once.
Just gotta figure it out.
Pull your mic up.
I'm excited about today's show, though.
Yes, we have such a good. Y'all, we have such a good show for y'all. I'm telling y'all, they did not want us to come in here and talk to y'all today, but we here, okay? Which means get ready. Get ready. Should we just hop right?
Let's hop right on in.
Okay, and we can.
Let's hop in.
And we can. That ain't no problem. That ain't no problem. Let's get into it. All right. So first things first, all of the It Girlies decided to go into the studio at the same damn time and drop music. I'm talking everybody has new music out. Everybody has new single out, new album out, new EP. So the first one that I'm super excited about is Ciara. Ciara has a new album that just dropped. It's called CC.
Love this for her.
Not to be confused with she had an EP out called CC maybe like a couple years ago, and it has songs like That's Just How People, you know what it is, you know what. So it has that song in there. I think what she did was so smart because she just kind of like took her time, and it's all of like the songs that the fans have responded to, like the random singles that she would drop.
Okay.
And then she just put it all together on this album, and then she has some new songs right there, and it just, her music to me just feels like super good. It just feels like upbeat, positive, braggadocious dance music. It's just like a good vibe. I love seeing her. I love seeing her on her promo run. I love hearing her talk about everything she's accomplished, and love to see Ciara. And then who else? There's lots of people. Oh, our girl, Teyana Taylor, also just dropped the album. She dropped a regular album, so a standard like audio album, and she actually has a visual album out that's streaming, I believe, on Amazon Prime. The album is called Escape Room. Again, this is just another woman who is completely grinding. I'm telling you, just grinding it out.
Because she has that movie out too.
She has movies, television shows. She's got everything going on. And I think right now she's actually on vocal rest. And so I love seeing this campaign because, like, you see, she has like the lip mask over her. Yeah. She's not supposed to be talking. So she's like partnering with like all her other like comrades and friends in the industry. I think I saw her with Kerry Washington It's like, my girl can't talk, but get the album. And like, I've seen her do that with a few different people because she technically can't be doing interviews and she can't talk right now. She literally can't talk. So it's so cute seeing her still promote her album. And of course, she's got her boo in the visual, Aaron Pierre. That's Mufasa. Hey,
Hey,
Pierre. That's
I
Mufasa.
love her little like twist on that trend that was happening where she got on her house shoes, child. She said she not doing all that. Not
She
too much.
literally said, ladies, go grab your moo and listen to the album. Like, she's setting the tone. This is like, you're either cleaning your house to this music or you're just sitting down somewhere. Like, you're not doing too much. You're just taking it all in, chilling out. And so I'm super duper excited to listen to that album.
Listen to the album, yeah.
haven't caught that one yet. Here's another one, Doja Cat.
Okay.
Doja Cat has a new single out. The song is called Jealous Type. I'm into Doja. I just think she's such a cool visual artist.
She does give good visuals.
She's giving dance. She's giving, I was a theater kid. She's giving range out of this world. And so I am just super excited for all of the girly pops that are doing their thing in the music. Have you had a chance? I know you're one of those people that are like, I don't really be listening to no new people music. You're a very much.
Why you gotta be putting my business out there?
Sorry, I just thought.
Okay. I'm a very nostalgic girly. Like I just today in the car while stuck in traffic, I listened to 4 by Beyonce.
Okay, well,
yeah, I'm a very nostalgic. I'm a very nostalgic person. I swear it takes a lot to like bring me into present day.
Oh,
well, yeah, but no, I'm gonna listen to at least 2 out of 3 of these for sure.
Okay,
I am.
I think I don't think I understand. I once gave T my iPod because she was having a complete meltdown about not being able to take what was the brand? Magnavox. Remember the CD players? This actual circle CD. Like, she was having, I don't know what was wrong. She was having a meltdown and just did not want to be transferring music over from the USB into a device. I was just like, take my girl. It's good. And when I tell you, it was 12 years later and this lady was still listening
to that iPod. Listen, those were my songs. But was I wrong though?
Yeah, I don't.
Because now no one really owns their music. Like,
yeah,
you used to go out, and I get it. You had to have a whole shelf with your, CDs and everything. But now no one actually owns their music.
Yeah.
When you're listening to it, but do you own it? And so now that's becoming an issue. If you're on one app and then that app goes under, what happens to all the music that you collected?
Yeah.
And then now people are going back to vinyl.
Yeah. And you know what?
Because I lived during a time. I'm telling you.
It's time to like slow down, unplug, do a little bit less. So I get it. It's hard for me to discover new music too. I think I gravitate more towards like the artist. And so like, even when I was up top and I'm like describing it, I'm like, okay, I just love Ciara's energy. I love Teyana Taylor's like work ethic. I love the entertaining side of Doja Cat. So when I get into like the actual artists behind the music, then I'll give their music a try. But when everybody's just kind of like randomly dropping whatever, I'm like, it takes me a while to get into it too.
I think I like storytelling, so I am gonna give them a try. It's, to be fair, anybody that had that like 90s, late 90s, early 2000s sort of life, everybody had good music. Like everybody was a hit. Everything slapped every single time. So that's what makes it difficult. Like, there was no skips. What do you want me to do You know what I mean? When you had Brandy's Never Say Never. Like it's the whole way through. And then Monica, the blue with the ponytail. What album is that?
Angel of mine.
Angel of mine.
Angel of mine. Yeah.
Yes.
The album was The Boy Is Mine, but the single was Angel
is Mine.
Angel of Mine. Yeah.
That went all. You know what? See, now you just got me ready to go listen to Street Symphony.
Now it's time to go to the Brandy and Monica concert. Do you have your tickets ready?
I'm gonna get there one way or another.
Okay.
No matter, like, it's gonna be tough because I got a trip, and then right when they're here is like the day I get back or something like that.
Oh, well, you straight off the plane.
I got to figure out logistics.
You're gonna be living a rock star life. You can't miss Brandy and Monica. You can't
no dose or something. But I'm trying to be in the building, outside the building. Okay, like, so this is, if I come from that era, which it's not my fault. Blame them. That if you want to blame somebody, blame those artists.
The gift that keeps on giving, the music that's still music.
Still is.
That still gives with us. Oh my goodness. Okay, I know we got a lot to go through, so I am going. Listen, this next topic just. Okay. What's going on with the Love Island guys? Like, do we?
Yes. Oh my gosh. Okay.
You have to catch me up. When I tell y'all, I'm in it. I'm hanging on to my interest, but I'm not. I know there's people that's dedicated to this. Like, they know every update about everything, every interview. It's too much. It's too much for me.
Yeah, I agree.
But catch me up, because I know I did see this interview they did with Baby. This is Keke Palmer. I think I'm missing something, because I think there was, like, I guess people just stay mad. I didn't really see anything wrong with what was said in the interview or anything, but I don't know what people were upset about. But maybe I missed something, because there's a lot of stuff happening and a lot of moving parts. So catch us up.
Okay.
Give us all the Love Island updates. Go.
First of all, I'm gonna say I probably know 75 to 80% of the Love Island tea. That's the range that I'm
good. In. That's a lot for me. Yeah.
Because I too have a life. But first of all, to be fair, this particular interview that Keke dropped on her podcast, this is when they were fresh out of the villa. They had only been out of the villa, I would say, probably about a week at this point. They filmed this very shortly after Nicolandria and Shelly's podcast that they did with Keke as well.
Yeah.
So that's number one. So let's place that where that needs to be placed, to be fair. I don't know why they dropped it so late. Sidebar, Keke looks amazing.
It's your girl. You know, it's your girl. I love her.
I will also say I like this with the boys, the questions for the boys, more than I liked it with Shelly and Nicolandria. She was really grilling them.
She was digging. Yes, she was
digging on this one. But okay. The body language switch up during this interview.
Oh, okay. Let me take a look.
I think that's what people were getting at with
whose body language.
So Taylor was speaking on Nicolandria during this interview. Keke had asked him some questions as it related to, like, were you, like, what was going on? Like, why'd you said you were still wanting to get to know both of them. And he was like, well, yeah, but she didn't have to, like, curse me out like that. Like, she didn't have to go off on me like that. It's like, okay, she didn't really go off on you. You were saying one thing and doing another, and she just let that be publicly known because you had her out here looking like a no. And Nick, when he was saying this, Taylor just has this. He has a disposition about him that I'm not very fond of. And I don't think others are very fond of it either. I think that's what people are really picking up. And when he was speaking on it, Nick body language kind of adjusted. Nick didn't say anything, to be clear, but his body language adjusted. You know what I mean? Like not too much on my girl sort of type body language. But he didn't say, but remember, this is before Nicolandria Nick gets closer before the Greece trip. So this is after the Disneyland. So
okay, so they have had more time together, more time to bond and become a little bit more,
Greece, but after Disneyland,
maybe more protective over her now than he was at that point.
Yeah, he may have had a closer relationship with Taylor at this particular point, like in terms of their friendship being stronger than maybe his, romantic relationship with Nicolandria at that particular point, right? But one thing that struck me so weird in this, because Kiki was like, Nicolandria, she is fine. She was talking to Nick at that particular point in the podcast. She was like, she is fine. And he was like, she was asking something about like, when did the chemistry start? When did you realize like it was something between you? And he was like, well, his response was something of the effect of, who type would Nicolandria not be? Like, duh, like who would be attracted to her?
Right.
And then at some other point in the interview, and this is after, I'm pretty sure, Taylor says, when Kiki was asking him about his relationship with Nicolandria, his response was, well, I wasn't physically attracted to her, but I was, like basically like trying to get there. Like it was like the other boys in the villa, particularly like Ace was telling me like, oh, she's making breakfast for you, dummy. And I'm like, okay, I have some thoughts about that. They may be a little controversial, but okay, Taylor. And it's just like, I'll be honest. Shelly and Nicolandria are such great sisters now, right? Yeah. And maybe it just seems like, and I'm not saying this, it really can't just be a friendship, because he could just be that type of guy who values his friendships more than his romantic situations. Taylor just seems to be more into Nick than anybody else. And I'm not even saying that as like a dig, like the way some other people are saying it. He's just really like, that's who he came out of the.
That's the brotherly love. Yeah. You get a sense that they have a really, really, really strong, which I love to see. I love to see that. I feel like we don't see enough of men bonding and having actual friendships and fostering those friendships and keeping 100%. Like I also think that people are, these are, I don't want to say kids, I don't want to be disrespectful, but these are very, very young men. Adults. These are young men. Yes. And I think what I feel like the pressure that's going on them is this, for them to like have it all together, to automatically know what it is that they want, what they're interested in, what they're looking for.
And that's
what I mean. Very much kind of like still kind of trying to figure everything out.
And that's what I mean. Like, I feel like, and I swear I'm not taking a dig at Taylor in the way that people may take it. I think he'd rather go hoop with the guys than necessarily be under a girl all day.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense. Like, or for him, it'd be go rodeo, then be under a girl all day. Like, that's just because he's so young, to your point. He's just, I don't think he's there yet. I think anybody who doesn't end up with Taylor at this particular point in his life,
it's fine. And that's fine too. And I don't think that, I think we've had so many shows like Married at First Sight and
Yeah.
Love is Blind. Like the objective of this particular show is not for them to come out and get married. I've even heard a lot of people say the married thing. Like that wasn't the end goal. The end goal
No.
of this show is just to make a connection, make
And
a
learn a
connection
lot
with
about
person
themselves.
and see if they want to take it seriously with this person after they made that connection. And to that point, they've kind of done that. And so I think that it's a lot of like what I'm seeing is just like a lot of hysteria and you guys, not you, of course, Fran, but the universal you, like people putting 20 on 10, and it's like we don't know the conversation. Like we don't know that he is dragging Clark along, or we don't know that they are probably in the same place in their lives, or they don't have the same goals, or you know what I mean? They're just having
It's a
fun
lot
and
to
learning
put
each
a
other. Like,
relationship together for anyone.
They
And
just
very
met
much
each
a
other.
lot
They just
for
met each other
young
2 months
people.
ago.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. I think what this is, and follow me, I'm gonna go left and I'm gonna bring it back.
Okay.
We live in such a polarizing society right now. And I think this is summer and it's a whole lot of crazy stuff going on. And this was escapism because like season 6 was crazy and this one was crazier. And so that sounds crazy to me that this was crazier than season 6.
Yeah.
And what I really believe is happening, people found this as escapism. However, they brought that same polarizing energy that exists in our zeitgeist right now to the show. Like they didn't bring, like, has this happened with Love Island before? Yes, but not to this magnitude. So I think that those same polarizing thoughts, feelings, ideas it's permeating throughout this whole Love Island fandom.
Yeah.
Because it's permeating throughout the rest of our society right now.
Yeah.
Now, I do understand that what's going on with Shelly and Alandria, Nick and Alandria is a microcosm of something else that happens in our society. We're just seeing a very small snippet of something that happens in our society every day, right? Shelly and Alandria cannot be these beautiful, poised, stunning Black women who have, or be allowed to have a multitude of emotion.
Yeah.
And then Alandria, who literally looks like someone painted her,
just gorgeous,
for some reason can't have this attractive white man be interested in her because of other people's entitlement to said man. That's insane.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's very weird.
The vibe is weird.
It's all about currency. It's all about social currency. That's what it's really all kind of like boils down to. There's a lot of nuance there, but this interview, there's so much you missed. Like there's this interview and then there's the things happening in current time. Okay. I don't know if I want to fill you in.
Well, I saw this interview. So like real quick, what is there anything that I need to know, I guess, going into the reunion that will make the reunion make me want to lean in more to like what I should be anticipating?
Well, okay, let me see. By the time when they filmed the reunion, some of these things that have recently just happened wouldn't have happened before the reunion.
Okay.
I know there is a particular cast member that there is a snippet of the newer trailer, because they released a second trailer, who got confronted, and we can clearly see that it's her who's getting confronted, and she hasn't said anything to her fandom about. Because one thing on our last episode that I forgot to tell you, when Shelly got the knuckle sandwich in BuzzFeed, Alandria's face was put on that of George Floyd. Hold on. Okay, I'm sorry.
Hold on.
I'm so sorry. I don't know how I forgot that.
Hold on. Run it back.
Okay. The infamous imagery of the horrors that was and became the protest out of 2020. That was George Floyd. And that cop, good for nothing. Okay. So they put Huda's face. Someone made a meme with Huda's face on Derek Chauvin's face, and then Alandria's face was on what would be George Floyd's face. So that the knuckle sandwich was all about the same time when the show was running in real time. And when Huda gets out of the villa, and you see in the very last like scene of the show when they're in the pool, Nick has Alandria in his arms on one side and Huda is holding on to Nick on the other. Now one could say Huda couldn't swim or she couldn't hold herself up or something like that. And I was like, that's odd. But okay, let's roll with it. They get out of the villa. They're on live. Nick's on a live. They're in like the Airbnb. Alandria is like being like sort of shocked because she comes out to the woo, and you could tell like it was like this a lot. Hold on. She didn't respond like immediately. Like, I just want to jump on lives and just be in this. She did what I would do. Like, I can do a lot of things, but fame ain't one of them. And so she pulled back, like she was in the bed, like, and she had Huda in the bed and she was hugged up with her. And she was like, they were like all snuggled and, you know, she was kissing Huda on the forehead and they were just snuggled up in the bed and Nick was on the live and Huda just kept coming in and out the room and they were on live for a minute. So then immediately after that, Huda goes and does all of this press saying she was bullied. And we're like, wait a minute, what? By who? You gonna name the people?
Right. Who is it? Yeah.
Who is it? She never named the people. And she did not come out and say, hey. And Janae just did that. Janae from season 6, she literally just did that when the people were coming out going in on Kenny's family. She's like, hold on. If you guys love me, don't do that. They've been lovely to me. It's not them. It's him. Please don't do that, you guys. She did that in 0.25 seconds.
Right.
Huda could have been and jumped on something and been like, hey, you guys, you know what? Like, this is not okay. I saw this when I came out. And if you're doing this ever in defense of me, like, I can never condone this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even if you didn't even want to say anything good about Alandria, at least come out and be like, this is something I can never get behind. And we still could have been left with the idea that, you know, like, we don't know what happened. But why would you just let that stay? There's no way she hasn't seen it. It's like super viral.
And that took place after the reunion, or is this something that we think is going to be talked about during the reunion?
Yeah, because in the trailer, you know, Alandria was crying and she was like, you didn't stand up. You didn't even stand up for me.
Okay. I think I have a little bit of the trailer that we can play for people. Yeah.
And to this day, we ain't seen her say nothing.
I'm just looking forward to seeing all the people that voted me out.
A lot of people have a lot to say. And I want those tapes to be played back.
I want to see everything.
Jeremiah, you and Bella, is there something going on here?
Alandria, was it worth the wait?
Like
the journey.
Oh, the journey.
My mom loved Amaya. She shed a tear when she left.
Yeah.
I was like, wow.
She's a social dancer too. Chris, how do you feel about what Huda said in the press about you?
I don't respect it at all.
Hannah, What is
Ooh, I don't want to play. I don't want to play too much of it, but it's looking okay. So then, what do you think are your Love Island reunion predictions for what you think is gonna happen and what you definitely want to walk away getting from the reunion?
I want for this is very it's a little bit upsetting because I have season 6 to compare it to with the ladies. And there was something that was going on like this, and Leah's nipped that crap in the bud. Like, nah, not on my watch.
Yeah.
So it is a little like, really, I want Shelly and Nicolandria to walk away knowing that this girl was never y'all's friend, was never trying to be y'all's friend. Because I as a slightly older person, I realized that I'm like, why is she in the room? Like, they just got together. They're trying to build a connection. A person with any level of self-awareness would be like, I gotta bounce out. Like, let me give them their space. And I was like, oh, don't be all like, but so I want them to walk away knowing that, and for them to get that off their chest. And it's not just, let me be clear, it's not just Huda. All of these other people have also done, and I know they're not media trained, right? But we live in a society where y'all be on those lives saying all other sorts of stuff, apparently getting in trouble all the damn time too. But no one else from the villa came out and was like, nah. You know what I mean? Like, they said it very, Chris said it very softly in his, but I want them to slightly address that as well. Like, here it is, we calling each other family and brothers and sisters in the villa, and then we get out and y'all see this and y'all know what went down.
Yeah.
I want Ace to address what he needs to address with Jeremiah, which that does look like it's been taken care of because they started following each other again on Instagram. So that looks like that gets hashed out, but boys always are able to hash stuff out all real quick.
Oh my gosh, the boys are always just like, you didn't steal my money. It's cool. Like, you want to go get something to eat? Like,
exactly. I love that for them.
And yeah, okay.
And then I would like for Brian to, and it looks like Andy does ask him. I want him to address this whole I was out. I get that they just got together. So you've been stuck in this villa for X amount of weeks, right? Like 2 months. And then you get out and you're going to probably default to your old ways. And now you want to know something, they do put too much pressure on these young people.
Mm-hmm.
They went in the villa, with maybe a few thousand followers on their socials, and they come out to 500,000 to, somewhere 2 and 5 million for some of them. And I went in and I said I was looking for a love connection, but now everybody in my face. So, you know what I mean? It's the same thing that happened with athletes, which I would never date or do. Yeah. Anyway, so you have that. So I want that to sort of get cleared up because we keep forgetting about Amaya, Papaya, and Brian because they're the one that won the show. They won the show. It's just been everybody else's media circus. Okay, and not so much about them, but yeah. I'm gonna move. It's still Love Island. I'm basically gonna give you some blind items, and then I'm not gonna discuss all of them. I'm gonna throw them out there.
Okay.
Shelly and Nicolandria Teen Vogue. Scratches on Nick's back. Single white female. Which one? I'm only gonna do one of the three. Which one do you want to hear about?
Scratches on Nick's back. You're probably gonna be in the comments like, wait, what? Tell me what happened with the other. What was the other one? Leave a comment if you want to know more about the other one. Y'all probably already know, but scratches on Nick's back. What's that giving?
Okay. So remember when Alandra and Nick went to Greece? We had just seen them.
Yeah.
Because they had just left the villa and they were in there in swimsuits.
They did the swimsuit campaign. Yeah.
And there was no scratches on Nick's back. And then they came out. And so that when they went to Greece, they also did the drink, the kefir. That drink is like a soda
the
drink.
Yogurt probiotic.
Okay. That they have going on. And we're looking at the photos from the ad, from the photo shoot.
Wait, yeah, scratches in the campaign? They didn't even want to Photoshop that out.
They did not Photoshop it out. I don't know if we telling on him right now.
Oh.
But it wasn't like I was the one that discovered it. I mean, I am being a little messy and spreading it, but yes. So there's I don't know how he got the scratches, to be fair.
My goodness.
But only one could assume.
Maybe he had a crazy back workout. It's getting a little spicy over there. Life after the villa. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, I am super excited to tune in. I kind of didn't want too many spoilers. I haven't watched the whole even trailer all the way through, and we're gonna come back next week and it'll probably be a whole Love Island episode because I'm sure it's about to go down. So definitely stay tuned for that because that is going to be so good. I have another person that has been, there's a little bit of hoopla, but here we go. So I'm going to check my notes. All right. Have you seen this?
No, you gotta fill me in on this one.
Okay.
I know nothing.
Serena Williams is opening up about being on a GLP-1. So I don't think it's like the Ozempic one. I'm not sure which one she's on, but I know. So when this story came out, it answered a lot of questions because she does have a dramatic weight loss. We've been watching Serena all of our lives. Basically, she's this amazing athlete. She has this athletic body. Like that's what we know her from. But of course, she's had a baby since then, and she's had a few health issues. And so I don't even know. Did she like officially retire? Because I know that she may have retired and went back, but either way, she has the issues with her blood clots. And so in this article that she does with Vogue, she talks about how her coach and her doctors were telling her it's so important for her to lose weight. She's like, I can't do anything else more. I'm a literal athlete. Like this isn't one of those situations where the people come in and like, yeah, I work out while eating the Starbucks. Like I'm really working out intensely 5, 6, 7, 8 hours a day, nonstop, high intensity workouts. I'm always moving my body. I cannot, like the scale is not scaling. And so she started going on this journey, taking this GLP-1 to help her lose the weight. And as you can see, her whole physique, like this looks nothing like the Serena Williams she still looks great. She still has her muscle definition. You can see in there that she's in the gym. So it's not like she's no longer working out and taking care of
important with the GLP-1.
Yeah, it is. And it just brings, I guess, a bigger conversation about, where are we? What's the state of getting assistance with these GLP-1s? I just think that my algorithm is just full of people's testimonies about how, listen, I had thyroid issues, I have PCOS, I have all these other issues that it really doesn't matter what I do. The scale is not going to move. And then, of course, when you're a woman, your body just wants to hold weight more so than guys do. When you're a woman of a certain age, it becomes a little bit more resistant to losing weight. And having weight off of you, like if you have other ailments, that's so important. It's so important because they can just make everything else more complicated. And I think a lot of the conversation, to me, it still kind of feels like, well, you're taking an easy way out. You're taking, like, just work out and just diet and just this. And it's just like, it kind of feels like when we tell people, well, why are you getting a cleaning service? Just clean up yourself. Or why are you asking for student loan help? Like, just, I paid my student loans off. Why can't you pay? Like, it's giving like very, like, you don't have a weight problem. You don't have a weight management problem. And so you're not being empathetic to the fact that people are experiencing different things and they need help. Just a larger conversation. I think that it's a necessary one to have, because I do know when this first came out, I was on a whole other side of it. And what we were seeing were a bunch of images of what seems like celebrities that were already a size 4. Like, what you losing weight for? You have no weight to, like, seemingly, like, you have no weight to lose.
Yeah, they're very frail now, some of them.
Walking around, like, giving the, you know, the really gaunt face. But there's so much more information out, pros and cons both ways, that I think that it is definitely something that we just shouldn't be judgy about if that's somebody's journey and they need to take it. Bonus points for Serena, because her husband owns or has a stake in Roe. So Roe is the company that you can go in online and they will help you get the prescription. This is not advertising, I'm just letting y'all know. So sis was like, I'm getting skinny and I'm getting paid, because she literally has like campaigns coming out. And I was just like, this is a lot going on. But that's where we are with what I'm seeing. Have you seen this conversation going on your side of
I've seen it more on that scientific side, like in my algorithm. I don't know, I picked up an echo for a second. On my side, it's more about the scientists and the doctors just telling the people how to avoid the risk or the downsides of GLP-1. So that's what I'm more tapped into. And to be honest, I don't want to hear about anything about it from lay individuals. It's such a new drug, you know, that, you know, I don't know what their opinions would even be based on.
Very valid. Very valid.
With Serena, like, I'm sorry, she's been an athlete since she was a child. So what this tells me as someone who is like, okay, this isn't working, what do I need to do? What do I need to switch up? Is to be very gentle with yourself, because if this woman, who is like one of the most powerful athletes in the world, is having a heart, like, it has access to all the things, access to nutritionists, access to, you know what I mean, all of the fitness trainers,
absolutely,
the best and the best fitness trainers, not fitness trainers, the best of the best. This tells me that we as a society are probably thinking about weight gain on women in like an upside down way. This is what this tells me, because that it almost seems like if you've been an athlete your whole life, that means that you have a lot of muscle mass, and it seems like weight would just fall off of you because your body has learned how to burn it. Is what I would think. So if you have any other underlying conditions, it's just gonna take over your body. It's giving I need to go ahead and take that flight to Turkey and have them tell me everything going on. So I can be like, let me stop working against myself. This actually makes, I feel bad for Serena, for having to go through another health crisis.
Yeah.
But it makes me feel good for myself because I'm like, oh, okay. I wasn't doing something wrong. This is just
it humanizes it. She's helping to humanize that it's okay when you're not a machine. Like you're not a machine.
If she can't do it, then
exactly.
It wasn't me not doing the 15 minutes of cardio that caused
and I think it's so powerful what she's doing. To your point, to your very valid point, the most important conversation to have about decisions like this is with your specific physician. Talk to your doctors, talk to your specialists. I do this thing because I help a lot with my mom's care, and so I like all the doctors to be aligned on all the different things, right? I want you to know what's going on over there with this body part, and you to know what's going on over there with that body part. Because a new thing, and this is why I really started to change the curve, was just hearing from a nephrologist that Ozempic and all these kind of other medicines actually help improve your kidneys. And there's all of this, and these are now the doctors that are prescribing it most. So now when it's not like a diabetic issue or like a you know what I mean, like a necessarily just a simple weight loss issue, it's your kidneys can take a turn and improve because weight, again, being overweight exasperates all the issues that you're having in your body. And I think that it's a really good conversation to start having. And I think the biggest takeaway is exactly what T said, y'all. Just be gentle with yourself and never feel like you can't ask for help. And that's with anything. It's not just like your body, but like, do you need help with these kids? Do you need help with, listen, come help me take my braids down, please. Come help me take
yes, please help me take my braids down.
Take these braids out. Just be gentle with yourself because, to your point, if Serena Williams needed help, we need some help. you may need some help.
I really like the idea of holistic medicines. So I know you say you have your mom's doctors like communicating with one another. I have a connect for a holistic doctor that mixes Eastern medicine with Western medicine. And so I am going to book an appointment. I don't care how long I have to wait to get in with him, because that is the sort of care that I want moving forward, because I was so like, he sits with you for 30 minutes just to get like ask you a whole, like do an interview basically before he starts any other thing. So I'm really excited to even have the contact information to move forward with that, because we really be working against ourselves.
We do.
I'm not doing it.
And when you really think about it, it's so much that's happening with still to this day with modern medicine, where women are being treated and we were never in consideration for all these treatments in the first place. Like we weren't the test subjects, like they were done on white men. And so it's like all women of color, Black women. It's just like we aren't getting exactly what we may need because you guys still kind of don't even understand like the causes and how they work in our body. So just again, be very gentle, because nobody has all of the information. Even your doctors, they don't have all the information, but definitely still consult with them first. The internet last.
Yeah, the internet definitely lasts.
For sure. Okay, this next, girl, take out your notes. Take it, because we're gonna need you to help the people with this next one.
Lordy. Oh my God.
All right, here we go.
What we got?
Target CEO Brian Cornell has stepped down as the company struggles with poor sales numbers. Now, as you can see here, it is by no coincidence, I've got big PBS news article up here. Okay, big WTTW. That's on Elmo. Okay. But yeah, we are. Look, they've got the little banner here. We're not going anywhere. Donate now, please. Yes. Yeah, the CEO has been in hot water since the onset of a lot of the boycotts. They removed DEI. It's been up and stuck since then. And then just the quality of the stores. There's just a lot of reports that like the stores are not well maintained and disorganized. And so according to literally this must have been just like on a news wire, because a lot of it is just word for word the same copy edit. So basically, per all of these reports, he has stepped down. And on the first look, we're like, okay, great. We've got a win. Maybe we're going to get a new CEO. They're going to come in. They're going to actually take us seriously. We can start turning the tide on whatever is going on with that company. You're shaking your head. Do you have some notes that you would like to share with the people?
I have a few notes.
Okay.
Target is playing dirty games in our face because they're just moving him to, in my assessment, a more powerful position. He will become an executive chair effective February 1st, 2026. So he's going to move to the board of directors as an executive chair.
What does that mean, friend?
That means that gives him more, I would say that's more power than the CEO. These are the people who hire and fire the CEOs of companies. My coming from like a nonprofit background, I realize Target is a for-profit company, publicly traded. But however, the board is who is like the puppeteers, right? And so while the CEOs run the day-to-day operations of the business, the board is the ones that will finalize like these bigger decisions if the CEO has them. So yeah. So this means nothing. Him moving aside is just to play in our face. It's just a visual. That's all that it is. And it's like Pastor Jamal Bryant was on CNN last night. He was going off. He keeps his foot on their neck. He said, "You not finna play with me and my people." Okay. Yeah. So no.
He's just basically so they're putting in the media and they're gonna make it this big story, this big spin, like, okay, fall back, y'all. We heard y'all. We moving him out the way. They're kind of positioning it at first glance, if you're just reading headlines, that he has no more ties with the company. So you're saying fact check, checks notes. That is actually not the case at all. Not only is he still with the company, but he is more powerful than ever. And even if I guess it's just as far as like next steps. Maybe they can still get a CEO in there, because a lot of companies do this. Is like PR, right? So T has this amazing human resources background. A bit about me is I have like a marketing and PR background. So what they will do, like they always let the CEOs be the fall guys for optics. And so they'll move the CEO around. They'll bring a new CEO in. All these changes get announced. It makes it look like they're doing all these great things. But what we're seeing in this case is they're probably going to do that same play, but the person we wanted to have consequences for these decisions has failed upward.
Yeah.
So I think I think it's important for us to have the whole answer, and to know that this is just not a reason to necessarily just rush the stores again. Just hold out if you are participating in the boycott until they actually have implemented the changes that we're demanding that they make. Point blank period. We want the Black vendors back in the stores. We want the divert. And I think it's also important to see, I don't think we got a chance to mention this last episode, but my understanding of DEI, I think let's just frame this, right?
Yeah.
So, it's very much just giving right now with this administration, get rid of the Black people. Get rid of the Black people. Get rid of all the Black women in power. They got their positions because of their color. Not knowing in their ignorance and their bias that DEI addresses just so much more than diversity in race and ethnicity.
Way more.
Talk and tell people about what the full umbrella of it, not that they may not know, but let's just keep putting it in the forefront. What does DEI actually include, and why it was important to organizations to embrace this?
This was so DEI, to Tel's point. I'm sorry, I'm picking up an echo.
I don't hear it, but it's okay.
It's not just about race. As a matter of fact, when it was coming into development, they purposely was like, we're not going to make this just about race. So it immediately jumped over to gender, which is why a lot of times it is most beneficial to white women in the country. And to be fair, they are women, so that is a protected class. I understand that they have more sort of societal capital in terms of being white, but they are still women. But it's also disabled people. And it doesn't, when we say disabled, sometimes we think, oh, someone that may not be able to have use of all of their limbs, or someone that may be like have a visual like impairment. No, disabled can be a mental disability. Like they may just like process slower. But if they have it down as a disability, that would help them. We have also, and people don't maybe not know this, it also helps a lot of people with rural backgrounds, because you live in a smaller place, you have less access to things, less access to resources and opportunities. So DEI often helps those from rural areas.
Yeah.
And I think people miss that one. And that one doesn't matter what color, what rate, like background, male, female, that doesn't matter. Just the fact that you're from a rural area with, a lower population. It covers things like mothers. Like, so say someone is, when you all have done like job applications, and it'll ask you like the TANF, it will ask, I don't know if you all, if it has every state, it will ask you if if your parents had ever used like public assistance.
Right.
And it's like, what that got to do with the price of tea in China? And it is because they're trying to collect the numbers to say, hey, we hit this quota. And it's like, but you didn't, because how does that count? And so when you fill out a job application,
that's even a manipulation. That's crazy.
It's crazy, but that's what that is there to count. But when you think diversity, I really need you to be diverse in your thought process when you hear diversity, and diversity, equity, and inclusion. Right? The inclusion piece is to include those. We have a lot of neurodivergent people that is a part of our society now. Like, we still have not found out why autism is so high. Or maybe it's just because we test now, but now they are a part of our society and they need to work as well. So it's the disabilities that you can see with your eyes. It's the disabilities you cannot see with your eyes. It is those that can be from like, a newly immigrated family, right? That could be diversity, equity, and inclusion. It can be that of someone that, they are first college student in their family. That could be different. Like there's so many different reasons for someone
it's
to
not
be
just about race.
It's not just about race.
In addition to that, I always like the part of it where it's just like overall your organization benefits from diversity of thought. Diversity of thought helps you to problem solve. It helps you to drive innovation. It helps you to think outside of the box. It helps you to think about all of your audiences and your different community members, because you don't know if your board and your company is just all monolithic, then it's just like, how can you be representative of this very non-monolithic place that we live in? And so 100%. It just is so beneficial to have that. And by them eradicating that, you're doing a disservice to yourself. You really think that you're showing us something, right? And then you do stuff like this, and then your numbers drop, and then you end up having a business. Oh.
And that's the thing. That's also the interesting part, because their numbers are way down. Okay. Something that's just because of the boycott. So the numbers that they're down is even more than the trend because of this current administration and tariffs. It's further down than that.
Yeah, it's more than 8%. The stock price is down more than 8% as of what date did this come out? August 20th, 2025.
So that tells me that they are waiting for some sort of subsidy, some sort of tax situation on the back end from this administration. That's what this tells me. I really believe this is virtue signaling to the powers that be, the oligarchs, and because they're looking for this money, that the money that the farmers were supposed to get is probably going to end up in Target's pocket. Wow. That's just my speculation, but that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking there's something to be gained on the back end, because who would lose this much money without a guarantee of something? And Ulta is leaving too. And they just got in Target like 2 years ago. Right? One about about 2-3
They
years
haven't even done their full rollout of all the stores that they were going to be implemented in.
Yeah, they're leaving. They said, not me, girl.
Not on my watch. Not on my watch. Not messing with my
Won't get me caught up in this. We got to go.
It's a mess.
We saw what Fenty sell for. We out.
But take notes, you guys. Just really pay attention and dig a little bit deeper.
Yeah.
Behind the headlines, because these companies are playing games at a level you would not believe, and they don't expect people to call it out. So every time we get a chance, we gonna call it out, which just brings me to my very next child. Wait until you hear about this one. This one was crazy. Okay, so let's see. All right, I want to. Have you heard of cocoa butter? And no, I'm not talking about the plants that we kind of like have used for ancient years to help us with our hydration and moisturization as Black people. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about cocoa butter, the digital channel. Have you heard of that, friend? Okay, so first of all, number one thing that pissed me off, now when you go into search engines and type in cocoa butter, this account is the first one that comes up. Cool. Let's find out what's going on. This came across my feed because of Tisha Campbell and Randy Raquel Williams. They did something with them, like a taste testing with them. And I saw this video and it was hilarious. And I love Tisha Campbell to pieces. I love Tasha Mack to pieces, right? So I was like, show me more. And I was immediately like, okay, look at this black channel doing buttery black things, cocoa butter. It's all this black goodness. They do foods throughout the diaspora. They are just having all this fun content. And so I wanted to know more. So I was like, okay, well, where are they? Like, where are they? So I took a look and I just followed along because I'm just at this point naturally interested. And so I'm like, okay, this is can you see the Instagram?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
This look at this grid, friend. This is blackity black onyx. Like, this is us. Like, this look at this. I'm like, this content, like, who is this new media company that's coming out swinging like this? Yes, cocoa butter. So then I say, well, let me take a look at, the links. And then I say, ooh, ooh, I say Buzzfeed. So then I go and I do a little bit more investigating because I just like to always know what's going on in the media. And I said, well, who owns the Cocoa Butter digital channel in 2025? And then they told me that Buzzfeed owns Cocoa Butter, the digital channel. Okay. I do some more just digging. And this, because they kind of like in the search engines were positioning it like, oh no, they previously were owned by BuzzFeed, but now they are independently owned. But according to Digiday and Google, BuzzFeed still owns this vertical. This is a BuzzFeed owned brand. They have the YouTube channel Cocoa Butter. They started in 2015. It got so popular that they just decided to really kind of focus and own in on it. And I just want it. Listen, I'm not saying don't support, okay? Because God knows we need to be seen as much as we can be seen. But not these being the exact same people that we just talked about last week fed a knuckle sandwich to Shelly from Love Island. And this week I'm learning that these are the same people that likened Nicolandria to George Floyd.
Well, no. That was just a meme from somebody on the internet.
Oh, okay. I thought that was in the same article. I was going to say, oh, now, okay. Well, I take that back. I retract. But still, it's just very important. Like, where are we? Like, we got to pay attention to what we're supporting. Like, this is crazy. And so, like, if you're one of those people that, like, I'm absolutely appalled by what BuzzFeed did, I don't think they did enough with the apology. I personally think they need to cut a check. I personally think they owe Shelly monetary compensation for damages. But if you are, hey, I'm taking a break for BuzzFeed, just know that over there, when you search in cocoa butter and this really cool looking digital channel comes up, that is also a BuzzFeed property. We got to be so careful of the food we eat. And I don't mean your literal food, but be careful about that too, because apparently there are radioactive shrimp in the stores. But just be careful of who you're listening to and who's giving you the content. It kind of just feels like BET and all of that all over again, where we thought it was like a Black owned entity. And then we come to find out that not so much. What are you thinking, friend?
Shell, I'm having so many thoughts, but what I'm thinking is like they just stay playing in our faces, all the time. Like, again, earlier in the show, I said I am such a nostalgic person, and with that nostalgia comes the lasting memories in my brain of this country and the people in it constantly telling Black people, because I grew up in it, marinated in it, okay, how we were not this, that, or the other. Your lips are too big. You can't do this. You can't be a ballerina because your butt is too big. You can't be on our cheer team because your muscles are too defined. Like all of these different things. Like I just plays back in my head. Some of them may sound random to some people, but this is just my unique memories of all of these different things.
Yeah.
Oh, you're too dark. We can't get the lighting right if you stand next to this person.
Can't be in a movie when you're too dark because lighting doesn't work on black skin.
All sorts of weird things. So for me living in now, I feel like I'd be having like these outer body experiences, looking and hearing all of these things. And sometimes I just don't even have the words. I only have conflicting thoughts trying to run to the front to get out of my mouth. This is so interesting. This is how this is worded here. Cocoa Butter was launched in 2015 under the umbrella of Buzzfeed social and distributed teams where the Buzzfeed audience could catch up on all things Black pop culture. Pause. Today, Cocoa Butter functions as its own brand. You see how the wording there...
It got tricky. That's why I kept looking and being very specific in my search. I was specifically like, who owns this brand right now in 2025? Yep, go ahead.
Producing original content that is amplifying the voices of underrepresented audiences. So what this is saying to me is that y'all still own it. You guys have it like operating as a subsidiary, right? Because you know that it looks bad for you all to have control of this particular platform. And then this just sends me down like a spiral of this is how the music industry works, you know, where you have all of these Black artists that create all of this amazing music and it's theirs, it's personal to them. And y'all will capitalize. And it just makes me so upset because it's like we can run 400 years away, 155 to be more accurate.
We round up and say 5 over here.
To away from the atrocities of slavery. And it's like, this is why Jillian Michaels just need to be exiled from the country. Like, because these are the lasting impact. It's so infuriating because it is gaslighting, like, right? It is literal gaslighting. You are telling us in one breath, we are all of these horrible negative things. And then in the other, you're like, where can we make money off of them? How can we do it? What can we exploit today? Like, do they wake up every morning and say,
yes,
we
answers hard stop. Yes,
the Black people?
Yes, they do. And then I think the problem is that we used to be it's all kind of coming full circle. Like it went from being a place where information was gatekept and hidden, and it went from we weren't allowed to have access to it, and then it was purposely destroyed or reimagined. Okay. And then it became very classist, and then like it was only the church would distribute certain information, and they were starting a lot of wars and conflict themselves back in the day. And then we kind of seeing it where it took a wave, and it was just like, now it's just over information, just information everywhere. You have to kind of really dig for it, be looking for it. And now it's kind of coming back full circle where we have this administration that is actively trying to hide information again and making it very hard to access and fact checked. And, so we are calling it out. Listen, not on my watch. Ooh. Not on my watch. If I had that as a sound bite up here, I would play it. But yeah.
You may have just thought of a business.
What you mean, friend?
So like Snopes, right? Isn't it called Snopes? It does.
I don't know if it's Snopes or Snoops, but yeah. I know what you're talking
about. It does the political like fact check. Like you can pop it in.
Mm-hmm.
You know how like when you are watching, for example, Jubilee and the facts pop up if they're saying something like it puts context there, or if it corrects an inaccuracy. Imagine if there was one for like all things pop culture. Where you literally go there and it's going to give you can get the summary version or you can get the long version. And I'm sure AI could help out with that, but it would be specifically for pop culture.
Don't say no more. Don't say no more. Don't say no more. Don't say no more, because it'll be 12 hours from now, and some company that has the resources will have put that out.
What was your idea?
That would be amazing. And I just think that, again, it's just so important to have independent, Black focused media, Black owned media that we actually own when it's content that we own. That's why, again, bringing it full circle, I'm so proud of what Ciara is doing, because she owns her own label. So when we see her out there and she's doing all these promotions and she is working so hard on that music, like it means something. And we're seeing a lot of artists. We've always seen Black artists be exploited and make millions for other people. And then they are having squat, their family gets squat. And that's with every creative entity. Like your IP is so important. And it's so important. And we do need more support, I think, in our community on how to scale and grow and protect our IP, because it does require a team a lot of times. Like even just doing this is a lot of work. This is a lot of work. But it's important. It's important. What we create is currency. And don't let people play with you like that. So I'm not saying, boy, I don't know what's going on with the Black talent over there. I don't know. But I just feel like also do independent media. So like if I reach out to you and I request an interview, boo, come on over here and support the channel. Or I have independent media on other platforms. Like come have your people also support the smaller content creators, because who owns the media is very, very important. Okay. We are going to this is like the last thing that I have on the agenda. Oh my gosh. It gives me a headache. Okay, so here we go.
We got one.
All right. And you know what? I'm going to do it like this, because you are not going to wait for it to pop up on the screen. You are just not going. Oh, there we go. I'm not putting him on here because my head already hurt.
Is it Taco?
Y'all's president recently told reporters that he wants to try to go to heaven. Y'all's president. Okay, I've got a picture on the screen of an orange caution cone. You know who it is when you see it. He apparently wants to try to get to heaven, and he's doing that by trying to end the war in Ukraine. But he does have the awareness enough to know that he's not really doing well with that goal of getting to heaven. He says, I'm really at the bottom of the totem pole. But if I can get to heaven, this will be one of the reasons. Let me get my notebook so I can check notes. Sir, be clear. There's people in Popeyes that don't want big backs. Okay, there is still people in hell waiting on ice water to be served. It's not happening for you. That's not a place you're going to. You will probably be in the waiting room for a while. Okay. And in that waiting room, while you're waiting to find out where the other direction is, you're going to be surrounded by Black people, because that's who runs the Heaven Operational Center. Black people, Black women, Jesus is Black. Yeah. There is no way. Okay. There is no way, based on your activity down here on this rock, that you are getting across the pearly gates. If you could be anything in the world, I want you to be so for real with yourself right now. You need different goals. That's just not a goal to get into heaven that you should have. What? Oh my gosh. Yes. He also, in that interview, rambles on and on about how he's ended the most wars out of all the people that has ever stopped wars before. But you know what it kind of reminds me of? If you ever listen to like nurses that work in hospitals, and they'll say they'll get like these older patients, and they either are scared, like if they're Black nurses, they say these patients are scared to have them be their nurse because they know they've done Black people so wrong and were so racist throughout their life that they feel like, they about to get their coming to them, whatever the word is. Yeah, it kind of reminds the comeuppance. Yeah, thank you. That's kind of what this remind. Like he's almost grasping it, and amen for that. Like you almost had it. Like you are at the bottom of this totem pole. You are. That is why, sir, you look like this, because it's giving hell adjacent. That is why.
I can tell you. First of all, people with the fake Christianity kills me in the first place, because I keep going through all my Bibles and I don't know which Bible these people be reading. That's number one. Number two, when did getting your spot in heaven become transactional? I did this, God, therefore I just want, okay, let's take the fact that he is who he is. Let's just make him regular Joe Schmo. This man is almost 80. And this is where you are with your like intellect, with a spiritual journey. This is as far, you're still like 4 years old. Like that's something a 4-year-old would say. Mommy, I helped the dog get out of the gate. I mean, last week I kind of hit it, but this week I helped the dog get out the gate because it was stuck. Will I get into heaven now? That's not how any of this works. Like, it's just, he's such a
if only they could actually understand the word the way they claim they do, and actually love the Lord the way they claim.
And that's why they never be there. They do not. There is no love for. I can't. I am somebody who actually loves God. It's infuriating. Like, it's infuriating to see how people play with it. It's really infuriating. And it's not on me to tell that man that he ain't going. But I'm gonna say it like this. From the Bibles that I read with the good sense God gave me, you don't meet the necessary.
You're not getting in. You're not getting in. I think it's right that we set him up for failure. Like, you're not getting in. You're not getting it.
This is why I've been avoiding
no
all.
you're
Like I can't
you're-
even tap in.
you
I
have-
can't
you
even
have-
tap in.
Do you know the you're not.
You're
Sir,
not.
denied. I know that he has instructed us to don't speak on his behalf. Okay, he run it up there. We not. But I just want to be clear.
He's the
that
Antichrist.
When you are tinged this color, okay, and you act the way you act, and you have the history for which you have, and when they check their notes, because they see everything.
They got notes.
They got notes. You think we got notes? They got notes. Yeah, they got notes.
Yeah.
And when they pull said note up, why do you think you gonna get entry and you can't buy your way in?
You better enjoy his time here because
you can't buy your way in there.
But
like I said, the office is run by Black women.
You're not getting it. But it's just
who are we to lie to him like this?
He is the antithesis of everything Christ stands for. The antithesis.
You're not compassionate.
Where are you going?
You're not kind. You do not do things out the purity of your heart. You do not show compassion
at all.
Like you are not truthful.
Antichrist.
You are not truthful when you speak. Like it's just a lot. It's just a lot of clues out there that lead one to believe that possibly you may want to lower your expectations.
You know what? He is the example of what not to do if you would like to get into heaven.
Yeah.
If you really hate the idea of heaven and being there, follow everything that man does. Unfortunately, we got a lot of people that do that. But yeah, because my God. Ooh.
All right.
Lightheaded.
I told you it was gonna make. I told you it was gonna make your head hurt. I'm sorry to have done that to you, friend.
I'm sorry. Man, I didn't need people to stop.
Okay. This is us in closing. Just wanting to, do you have any closing notes for the people?
My closing notes are for the Love Island cast. It's a lot that, to your earlier point, these are young people and there's a lot going on. And I understand that, all of the people out here are having a lot of fun, speaking on them, talking about them. But I just want to be mindful that they are still real people. And for many of us, we may not be like old enough to be their aunties and stuff, but we would be their like older siblings. And just be mindful of that. Like when speaking on them, no matter which cast member it is, I just, given the history of Love Island, and if you know, I just think we need to like move with that in mind, move with giving them grace in mind. Because if anyone deserves grace, it's going to be somebody in their 20s before the frontal lobe. It's fully
yeah, that part. I don't know if I too much have any closing notes. I think we talked about a lot today. If I just want to put a button on something, I think I really love the conversation we had earlier about just being gentle with yourself and being gentle if you need help, and not being hard on yourself that, you're not seeing the results you want. And that just goes for so much things. That can be whether it's in your career or whether it's like in your weight or your health or your finances, whatever it may be. Just kind of be gentle with yourself. It's a lot going on right now. A lot of people are stressed. A lot is overwhelming, and it's going to be okay. At the end of the day gonna end. Okay, so just take it one day at a time, and don't be afraid to ask for help if you need help.
That's a good closing note. I like that.
I love it. This has been our show episode. So this is officially, I found out I can't do episode 0. So this is officially episode 2. We have some notes with Tee and Tel. We are now playing wherever podcasts are played, except for Amazon right now. But you can catch us on Apple Podcasts. You can catch us on Spotify, iHeart Music. We're on YouTube Music. So you can watch us here on YouTube every Tuesday. And then you can listen to us on Wednesdays. Thank you so much. T, where can they follow you?
They can follow me on Instagram at Tee Shantae, and also YouTube Tee Shantae. I guess I could say TikTok too, but I really do not be over there because it's crazy. It's the wild, wild west over there. I just have to jump out. But I'm Tee Shantae pretty much everywhere.
Got it. And I am Chantel Chavon. So you guys can follow me on Instagram, on YouTube. Same with me on TikTok. I'm trying to do better. You guys, I'm a millennial. It doesn't come as natural to us as it comes to you. We're going to do better. But thank you so much for your support. And we'll be back next week with more. Have some notes.
Yeah, and it'll be after reunion.
Yes. Oh, yes. Bye, guys.
Bye.